DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Fucking there we go. Well, pilgrims, it's been another 168. So sit on down, load up your corncob pipe, crack a beer. Let's chew on some fucking trail dust together for a couple minutes. How about it? All right.
I don't think it's early enough for this, guys. Good morning and welcome to another episode of the DD214 Gaming Podcast. It's me, John.
What's going on, boss? How you doing today?
Well, what's your name?
I mean, my name. My name is. We just started a show and I'm getting a phone call. So hold it down for me for a second.
I got you. Hey, so today, good morning, guys. Today we're, excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Today it's another episode. Today, very shortly, we are going to be joined by KrazyAceTV, Facebook streamer, active duty NCO. Can't wait to pick his brain. He'll be with us in a few minutes. First thing off, hey, we're going to start off with the 168 in review. To start off yesterday, Down and Dirty RP had a wild event yesterday where it was the Amazing Race. There was a big obstacle that had to be come in. This was just a pre-opening event. So, guys, you guys got to check it out. There was maybe about 15 of us. Look, we had to drive up to the mountains, get a parachute, jump off the mountains, wash stone, get rubies and diamonds, and the winner was DD214 members, Dylan Mason and Joe Perazzi. So congratulations to them who beat me and Frenchie by a mere literally a few seconds. Guys, once again, I've been promoting it every single week. Down and Dirty RP opens October 1st on 5M. For those who are DD214 Gaming members, you guys will have an incentive to come in and we'll get an extra $25,000 as a member coming in on sign up. So come check us out. Another cool thing that happened for me this week, I have started watching She-Hulk. Finally got into it. Very, good morning, Mr. Squilini, Mr. Tech Guy Gaming. How you doing today? Where was I? So She-Hulk. So we're back with Marvel again. We're back in the MCU. I'm very excited because you know me. I talk about it every now and then, and I'm a little late to the party, but hey, to finally watch a MCU show that's not full of action and the quips are there, the jokes are still there, and they're great. The cameos, pretty cool because they are unexpected cameos of characters that we've probably never seen before. Wong, Wong is pretty cool to see. Sorry if I just spoiled that for you guys. And yeah, man. So we have great characters, and you know me. Whenever I review a show or a game, I go by three things: production, characters, and script. And this show has all three. The only complaint that I have about the show itself is it's like they used the whole budget on Mark Ruffalo to make him look a lot better than Tatiana Maslany, who plays She-Hulk, and the graphics on her are not that good. So that's probably the only complaint that I have. It's a very interesting dive to get back into, especially when you're sitting there and you just say, okay, well, I'm ready for another MCU show. I'm ready for some action, and this show kind of bridges the gap between that calm, comedic story style that we usually see in regular TV shows, and it kind of just flows with it really well. It kind of got like this comedic Law and Order vibe. It breaks the fourth wall. I'm very happy with the show. So the show gets a 7 out of 10. I'm pretty excited for the rest of it, guys. And going on to the next stuff that I'm watching. I am watching The Man in the High Castle as well, which is a show, an alternate timeline show about what if the German Reich defeated America. And the show is getting quite controversial. I still like the show, but at the same time, it's getting to a point where it's just like you're really questioning the writers and their morals of how far can they take it with how an American can be so calm with American Nazism. Lots of questions of the show. I know that the original story was written by Philip K. Dick, who wrote the story originally in the novel. From what I understand, the first season follows the novel. And it's pretty controversial, but again, production, characters, and story, which all three have. I am giving The Man in the High Castle a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10. Another couple things that happened out throughout the week. This week, I'm going to just yesterday actually, my new podcast, The Artificial Mind, has finally released. Myself and my boot camp partner, Jeremy Strobridge, have come together to work to bridge the gap between art, mental health, and artificial intelligence, and talk about some of the pieces that I've shown off a couple weeks ago here while working with Midjourney. Guys, please check out the new podcast. You can check it out on Spotify. You can check it out on YouTube. You can also check this out on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube right now. It's a great show. The first episode is up. It's called Angels and Outer Space. Yeah, so I'm kind of taking the realms right now. Everything's going good. Let's talk about something. So we have moderators coming into the DD214 gaming team this week. I wanted to say, for those who are for the guys who are watching, I just want you to know that we've looked through your applications and we're going to talk to you this week. It's been a very interesting combustible week as it is, and with a lot of things going on, we're trying to upgrade our world here. While trying to upgrade our world here, we're also trying to make the group better and build more content with you guys. On top of that, wow. Yeah, so Jay should be back any minute, guys. I'm trying to think. Oh, and there he is. What's up, Jay?
Look at that. Fucking nick of time and shit, huh?
Okay.
How you like me now?
Yeah, perfect. So
How you like me now, partner?
Okay, I broke down She-Hulk, which I gave a 7 out of 10. Man in the High Castle gets a 6 out of 10. I just promoted my new podcast, The Artificial Mind. All right, so the artificial.
I look forward to listening.
So listen to it. We're going through themes. Guys, send us your submissions and let us know what you think. And what I was just talking about was our moderator team that will be coming with us this week. I will be sending you your emails today. So look at your Discords, look at your emails. Um, we're gonna have a good time. We're here to grow each other. We're here to grow the team. Jay, it's
Yep.
time for your 168. Good morning, Mr.
Yeah.
Mason. Hey, and like I said earlier, two of our DD214 gaming members won a Down and Dirty GTA roleplay event last night.
Oh, outstanding.
Joe,
Congratulations.
our old producer Joe Perazzi, and our friend
Ah,
Dylan Mason. I just want to give a big shout out to
congratulations, guys. Good
Joe
job.
Poe,
Outstanding.
Deshaun Myers, Crazy Ace TV, who will be joining us momentarily, Travis Bishop, Dylan Mason, Meat. Just a guy named Meat. Thank
Meat.
you for coming.
I can
Talk
dig it.
Tally. All right, Jay. So now it's you, man. How was your week? How you doing today, man?
Fucking still alive, man. It was definitely another 168. Let me tell you, freaking. Oh, doesn't it feel good sometimes when like the universe just freaking bends you the fuck over? You know what I mean? But we're still here, aren't we? Still fucking here. Still in the ring. Still taking the fucking punches. Dick still fucking set to hard. So yeah, it was a week. Let me tell you. Yeah, I really didn't do too much. Nikki, my beautiful girlfriend Nikki, she was gone most of the week. She actually just flew in on Friday, so that was fucking amazing, and we are all glad to have her back. And the household is functionally complete again. You know what I mean? So as it were, and yeah, it was. We really didn't do too much overall, and just generally speaking. One cool thing that we did though is I finally got Nikki. Are you ready for this, John? After like months and months, over a year, I finally got Nikki to sit down and watch The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Yeah. So like, after all this time, like this poor woman has never seen this fucking movie. So she's seen all she has ever seen is just all the parodies. Bene. But yeah, after all this time, all she's ever seen is like the memes, the parodies, different movies that, rip it the fuck off, whatever. That's all she's ever seen. She's never seen like the actual movie, The Godfather. So we finally sat down and we watched the fucking Godfather. For me, this is like, I don't know, like the 862nd time I've probably seen it, right? All the way through in my life. But for her, it was like numero uno. And so that was really cool. That was really cool to like do that and kind of like rehash like just where it all started. The whole like the gangster genre of films. It's where it all fucking started. Like before that, a lot of your crime movies and gritty whatever movies were not. You never really saw it from the other side. You know what I mean? It was always a cop against the bad guys, right? Or whatever. Like this was like the first like what you might call like a semi-realistic portrayal of how it all goes down behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So, gotta say, man, upon rewatch, man, The Godfather is scoring an automatic fucking throbby, veiny, mess up your gutsy fucking 10 of 10, dude, forever.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
I tell you what, dude. I'll tell you what. No shit. And because we kind of watched it, we chopped it up. So like we started it the night before, we finished it last night, and because we still had a little bit of time left in the evening, we actually started and we got about 40 minutes into The Godfather Part 2. So Nikki is trudging along, and she's doing very well so far. I can already tell you right away, like Godfather Part 2 is also going to get a throbby, veiny, have to go to the hospital after you get fucked by it, 10 of 10, dude. Like, both of these movies are classics. For those of you that aren't readers, which, it's 2022, so that pretty much makes all of you, about 99% of you out there. I love talking that shit because like none of you like barely even know how to read. And I know because of like, I see the comments you leave, you know what I mean? Like, so based on your spelling, I already know you don't read. Godfather Part 1 and 2 were actually both based on and loosely based on the singular book, The Godfather by Mario Puzo. So for those of you that actually care about educating yourselves and like reading good books, I would highly recommend The Godfather by Mario Puzo. Doesn't matter how many times you've seen the movie. If you still want to get your guts beat up, dude, like mentally, fucking Mario Puzo will do that for you. And there'll be shit in that book that was definitely not in the fucking movies. So highly encourage you guys to also check that out. It sits right over here on my bookshelf. It also occupies zero space in your brain because you guys, you mongoloids, don't even know how to fucking read. So that was
shit from
Jay's,
anyone.
that was Jay's 168. So yeah, back to you, John.
What are you talking about? It's your Roadhouse now.
Oh, is it the Roadhouse already?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Damn. Hang
It's
on.
time for your Roadhouse. I did my thing already. It's your turn.
All right, give me a second here.
Well, if you want me to, I can add one more thing. I watched Thor: Love and Thunder. It's a win.
Okay.
It's a win.
Oh God.
It's a
Thor,
win.
Thor: Love and Thunder is a
Thor:
win.
Love and Thunder is a win. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got a great story. It'll make you laugh, cry, and maybe walk out. 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna watch this. I swear to God, John, I'm gonna watch this movie just because you said that, just so I can trash it next week.
I know.
Like, just.
He needs some milk.
Where?
All right. So, are we? Yep. Ready?
Is it time? Yeah, let's do it, man. Well, pilgrims, here we are again. Another 100 goddamn 68. Did you get your dick kicked in this week like I did? And back inside out? Back inside again? That's okay. Come on down to the Roadhouse. Let's take some stress out. Come saddle up to the bar. Crack open a brew. Hang out with your old pal Jay. Let's take some weight out of the rucksacks. Have a chat for a few. All right. Cheers. So, John, I got a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Is fantasy football supposed to be fun?
I know fantasy baseball is supposed to be fun.
I mean, I'm just asking, like, in general, like, fantasy football is a big thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands, if not like several million people play this probably every year, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it supposed to be fun? And if the answer to that question is yes, I need you to explain to me what the fucking fun is supposed to be, or how it's supposed to be fun.
I think,
Please,
I
'cause
think
I'm confused.
Team camaraderie.
Okay. I mean, are people in the leagues? Are people in these leagues like supposed to like kind of chat with each other or communicate, or
I would think
maybe
so.
even I don't know, shit talk, and like just have banter and interaction and human interaction, fun, right? Something.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Well, apparently I joined the wrong fucking league. So this was the most fucking dead fish, fucking starfish fucking league I've ever fucking seen. It's my first time playing fantasy football, and boy did I get fucking ripped off. Holy shit. Like, I've seen fucking dead bodies with more fucking animation than the fucking league I'm in, dude. So going back last week to week 1, all right, there was a Thursday night game. Sunday morning, all the morning games get played. I'm sitting at the VFW with my beautiful daughters watching the Chiefs game, and I think we're at least like halfway through, if not almost all the way through the first quarter. And I realized there has not been a single person say anything in this fucking group chat of this league I'm in. And I look down, and sure as shit, like it's been like since Thursday, like it's been since like Wednesday. Like nobody is like, it just dead. Like and I'm like, paid 50 fucking bucks for this, huh? This gets to be my fucking fantasy experience, huh? So I sent him a fucking nasty gram and fucking left the group chat. I'm staying in the fucking league just to be a dick and not fucking ruin like the fucking whatever. I'll stay in the league, and I won last week, by the way, fairly handily. And I'm already ahead this week because the Chiefs played on Thursday. So because I have a couple of players from the Chiefs, I'm already ahead this week. So we'll see how it goes, John. I'm really gonna laugh my ass off if I fucking like beat the shit out of this fantasy football league this season. my first time playing. But so far, I'm giving fantasy football the most flaccid, castrated fucking 0 of 10 of all time, dude. What a fucking waste. Like, for those of you out there that play fantasy football, please let me know, like, what the fucking appeal is. Because this is my first experience, and I'm never fucking doing it again. And I'm definitely not fucking paying money to do it again ever either. Like, what a fucking waste of goddamn fucking time, dude. I'm, like, literally, like, just staring at fucking stats and just, like, waiting for people to say something, talk shit. Are they mad because my fucking team is whooping their fucking ass? Because, you know, I don't know what. Like, is it supposed to be fun? I'm just asking here. Is it supposed to be fucking fun?
Well, you could ask.
Well, like, what is the fucking appeal? What's the appeal? I don't get. As of right now, I've been doing fantasy football for 2 weeks, and like even the draft was fucking lame. Dead fish. You know, you ever take a girl to bed and you're like, fuck yeah, bro. And then you guys kind of start doing the thing, and she just lays there. And it's like, wow, well, I just fucking went soft real fucking quick because not into fucking dead bodies, you know?
Once
you
I shove
know what
my
I mean?
tongue in your ass, you black out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I need some freak shit, you know? Like, I need people talking. I need some kind of like something to get my dick hard so that we can have some fucking fun.
So you want someone to go in there and hurt your feelings?
Oh, no.
About football.
How are they gonna fucking hurt my feelings, dude? I was in the fucking army. What feelings? That's the whole point. They can, like, if anything, talking shit fucking is better for me. That like helps me heal, because then I feel like I'm more at home, right?
Yeah.
Getting just fucking abused. You know, just getting abused by mom and dad, right? Like that's the army. That's the army way, right? I mean, come on. You know, let's not stand on ceremony here, John. But yeah, that's about all I got for the Roadhouse this week, dude. Like,
Roadhouse.
Fantasy football sucks. Fantasy football fucking sucks. And if you like it, please help me see the appeal, because I see fucking 0 right now, like as in like negative numbers.
Well, I think we're about
So,
to get
yeah.
that conversation, because just in a second we are going to be joined by KrazyAceTV. Welcome to the show, man.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
How you doing?
Welcome.
today?
Hey, doing good. Hanging out, vibing, you know, listening to how he wants to get his feeling hurts for fantasy football, but, you know, I
mean,
don't know.
That's the part. That's the part. I think that's really the part I'm not understanding yet, and I just don't get the actual appeals, because, like, how can I get my feelings hurt if nobody's even fucking talking? You know what I mean?
No,
it's one
I
of
get
those
you.
like,
No,
you know,
100% though. Like when you play fantasy football, like you have to sit there and you have to talk some smack, right? So I'm in 2 leagues. One with my high
I
school
wouldn't know. It's my first time.
classmates, and one from work. The one from the high school classmates is funny because we're in this group chat, and last year we joked with one of our friends, because we were like, hey, who's playing? Is it you or your husband? And like, hey, you're not supposed to be tag teaming here. If you wanted to play, have 2 separate teams. And this year we were just roasting her. We are just like, hey, if you're gonna play, make sure just give Randy his own squad. Like, I'm gonna be playing myself, thank you.
That's what I see. That's the kind of banter I was thinking. Like, I thought that was what made it. That was what's supposed to make it fun, right?
Yep.
And just, I guess I really just landed in a fucking face down in the gutter fucking league. Then I really must have just like struck the fuck out on the league I landed in. Then, like, it was crickets, fucking crickets, bro. Crickets after Thursday's game, crickets all the way leading up to Sunday morning's games, and it was still crickets after an entire set of games had been played. I was like, you guys fucking suck. And if this is fantasy football, fuck you, dude. Like, this is negative shit. Like, I don't. Like, why did I even join this league? I just got like 50,
like,
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No.
dude. You should see the fucking dude. I sent a couple of screen caps to John just to be just to show John, like, when I fucking wigged out on these people, dude. I wigged out on them. I was like, you guys fucking suck, and I sent like the most giant middle finger emoji I could possibly make, dude, because it was like I was that upset. I was like, y'all hurt my feelings by not fucking like doing anything. I just paid $50 to like do what? Like watch a bunch of fucking stats. Watch a bunch of stats for 17 weeks.
My high school classmates ones, we'll go. We pay, but it's kind of like, it's not even an entry fee. What it is just like, hey, here's $20. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I've never gone into like pay leagues to pay this much to enter. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind having friendly wagers or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I refuse
Sure.
to do pay leagues. Man. First off, I don't play fantasy like that, right? Like if I play fantasy to get into a pay league, then cool. But like I got so much going on, I can't sit here and track every single stat for every single person, racking and
Correct.
stack them.
Right.
That's what I got. That's what I got the apps for, to do
Sure.
that shit for me.
Absolutely.
And then you hopefully make a good guesstimation, you know?
Sure. I've never been a big fan of what you might call gambling in general. I do gamble from time to time. I'm not, I don't mind the occasional poker game with buddies, whatever. Never been a big gambler, but this one was it was actually a member of our community, GD214 gaming member. Still cool with this guy, by the way. Me and him still chat back and forth, but just not with the group chat. But no, like he was like, hey, I'm in a couple leagues and I'm commissioner of one. Would you like to try it this year? I heard you talking about it on the podcast. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me put my money where my fucking mouth is. Let's try this shit. You know what I mean? And I guess we just kind of landed in a bad grouping of people. Probably. It's just one of those like no fucking chemistry, Oh, Mr. Bishop, I promise you, I'm very committed. I'm gonna be so committed because our group member here is the commissioner of the league. So what's going to happen is if I keep winning throughout the year, about halfway through the year, I'm going to have him like put me back in the group chat. I'm going to fucking stay long enough to send like 2 really shitty messages and fucking leave and then leave again. And then I'm going to come back at the end and be a fucking dick again. You know what I mean? After I win the whole fucking thing. That's how committed I am to this. I'm very committed to this.
And Travis Bishop says, Ace, you got to be more committed.
More committed. This coming from the guy who sits there, won't even play with us on weeknights anymore because he has to study.
Oh, I gotta go to class.
I love that dude though. No, Travis is he's actually a good friend for like, man, it's going on over like 10 years now.
Much props.
So Ace, so tell us about yourself. Before we get to the gaming side of things, who are you?
All right, so my name's Ramon. I'm active duty Army, been active duty now for 19 years. I wish I could possibly say that I am going to retire right at 20 next year, right? But I am trying to move one time. So I'll probably retire around 22, 23. Just because, I got certain plans that I want to do, and I can't accomplish them if I get out right now. So other than that, though, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, diehard Bears fan. If you guys can see Bears, go Bears, right?
Bears.
We played the Fudge Packers today. Yeah, I mean, born and raised in Chicago, and in the Army, I am a 13 Juliet, which is fire direction for artillery. So for those of you guys who, I mean, I'm hoping everyone here would know, right? But for those of you who don't know military lingo, all I do is tell people where to blow shit up at, pretty much.
It's a little bit, and for those of you out there that also don't know, I want to say that he's also being very humble about what he's saying, because he doesn't just do that, and he does a lot fucking more than that. So coming from a guy who just got out, like, I appreciate your humility, dude, but like I've seen a lot of people in a lot of different MOSs, and they kind of tone down like how they describe what they do in the Army, and I just want you to know there's no gatekeepers here. Like, you do some fucking badass shit that is absolutely necessary, especially on the battlefield. And I've seen what things that guys like you do to help guys like me out when I'm out there on top of a fucking mountain with my fucking dick in my hand and nothing around me but fucking like bad terrain and bad people. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
no,
like,
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do. Like,
of course, man. Hey, we all got to help each other, So, look, we talk a lot of smack about, freaking Bravos, freaking the infantry. I understand that we're the king of battle. It's okay, all right. But I had to throw that in there.
Hey, man.
But no,
Queen's
got
like,
all jokes aside, man. When shit hits the fan, like we all know that we have each other's back, and that's one of the greatest things that I love about the military in general. Even outside of the Army, when we talk about joining with doing joint stuff with the Air Force, with the Marines, the Navy, like we talk so much shit about each other, but we know that we have each other's back, and that's one of the greatest things, Aside from that, then. What I do right now, though, technically I'm an OCT, and so what I do is I observe, coach, and train National Guard and reservists to ensure that they're doing stuff to standard and per doctrine, right? National Guard, means they only do 1 week in a month, and sometimes 2 weeks out of the year, total of 39 days out of the year. So obviously they don't get as much training as we do on active duty. So our job is just to make sure that they're on the right path to do stuff. So
Sure.
Interesting.
How do you if you don't mind saying, like, what is your duty station right now?
Oh, I'm at Camp Atterbury, Indiana. So
Holy shit,
it's-
really? Are you
yeah,
you're
it's about 30 minutes south of Indy.
so you are an active duty, almost retired 20-year soldier, and you got Camp Atterbury, Indiana as a duty station. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I live in South Indy right now, like just chilling.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know the Army is not the worst place in the world right now. That is probably the most cush, like, duty station you could probably get. I'm not saying his job is cush. I'm saying, like, as far as duty stations, like, that's to be active duty and to be attached or assigned to what is predominantly an either guard or reserve outfits is like leagues different than
Oh,
your
it's a hidden gem. This is probably one of the hidden gems of the Army, hands down. No, like I
Yeah,
love it.
I've
had
got
a lot of time to myself to be able to do stuff, and that's why I was able to focus
Bro,
on gaming.
that's awesome.
Myself,
and at the tail end of your career too.
Oh yeah, if I get promoted though, ain't no freaking relaxing now.
I thought you said you were getting out at 20 no matter what. What happened to that?
No, I said I have plans in place, so I can't get out at 20. So I have one more PCS left.
Okay.
So what it is if I get promoted, so I'm trying to make E8. Yeah, I'm trying to make E8. So if I get promoted, then I'm gonna go back to the line. But if not, regardless, I'm getting out of my next assignment if I don't get picked up. So.
Hey, so you said you're hitting 20 years. So that was around the height of the War on Terror.
Oh yeah, so I said I was gonna join the Army in 2002, right? So I was a DEP, and then literally everything happened. I was a junior in high school. I still remember when everything happened. I was in first period English. The teacher walked out, brought in the TV, and we're like, "Hey, this is happening right now." And everyone's looking at me like, "Yo, are you still gonna go to Army? Are you gonna go to war?" I was like, "Bro, I don't even know what any of this means. I'm still a freaking 17 years old here." But it was different. It was I didn't know what to expect. But I went to basic training, went to job training, and then I got stationed in Germany. And within 3 weeks of being in Germany, I found myself in Iraq. So,
where did you end up in Iraq?
Baghdad. So
Okay.
Initially we were in Bayat, Baghdad International Airport, and then that's where I stayed. We were there majority of the time, and then we ended up going to Falcon. I can't even remember where the heck that was. Right. We were set to come back home, and then that's when we got extended, and then we had to go back to Bayat because there was no place for us on Falcon because we had already started ripping out. So we were done. We were this thing, and then kind of sucked, man, because every time I talk about it, like, it still hits a little bit home because we were good to go, and then that's like we started losing people when we were supposed to be going home, So it's just really like mixed feelings every time I kind of think about it or whatnot.
How long were you deployed the first time? That very first time, like, how long were you gone?
When I was there for 7 months. The unit had already been there for almost I want to say a little less than a year, maybe like 10, 11 months or whatnot.
Oh my gosh. Was that hard for you, kind of like coming into a unit that had already been there and you're fresh out of training and like you had to like
everyone already knows each other. I had to try to figure myself out.
And you got to come in there and try to make your bones like halfway through a fucking deployment, right? Like,
yeah.
What was that experience like, trying to, I guess, fit in, like, not only fresh out of training, but like in war, you know what I mean?
I think the biggest thing was it's not hard for me to fit in. Like, I've always been very extrovert, right? I was on the football team. I was JROTC. Like, I've always liked being around people. So I think the hardest part was just from that perspective at that time was trying to get the respect of like my sergeants and stuff. But like, hey, you can trust me with stuff or whatnot. But like, but at the same time, like, I need to be trained. And we trained and we were tired. And I mean, like, you thought doing 2 days in the middle of summer, where you were dog tired at the end of the day, you thought like, yeah, I got this, man. It prepares you for nothing when you have about, an extra 100 pounds of gear on, freaking kicking indoors, going through Mount Size, doing all this training, getting up, going down. I was like, yo, what did I sign myself up for? You know?
Thought you
But,
were 13 Juliet. You sound like you're doing infantry shit there, bro.
that's what we were doing. We weren't doing art.
I
All that
know.
stuff was already done prior to that.
That's what. Hey, kids, that's why they call it basic combat training. Everybody becomes an infantryman eventually.
Oh, hey, look, I'm a firm believer, and I preach 100%. Like, look, everyone is a soldier first and foremost. Like, you have your job, cool, fine, and dandy. When I go ahead and talk to people, I'm like, yo, cool. You can freaking file papers. You can freaking turn a wrench. But what does that mean when shit hits the fan? Do you understand how to pick up a rifle? Do you know how to hide behind cover your buddy? Like all this stuff. And that's basic soldiering. I like to call soldier 101, right? I think that's what everyone likes to call it. Like, if you can't do that, I'm sorry, you can't do your job. Like, that's just me, though.
Shoot, move, and communicate. That's like the first three things you should be learning. You know what I mean? Shoot, move, and communicate. That's it. That's it. So yeah. Tell me about your introduction to gaming and how gaming kind of became, I guess, a thing for you, or here in the last few years. Like, tell me, what was since you've been in the Army this entire time, right? What was your, was the gaming kind of therapeutic for you, or was it a thing you did to whatever? Like tell me about this, the kind of bridge between, how you came to be where you are now, basically almost 20 years into your career, and now you're streaming, and you're obviously very, very far into your career and doing very, very well for yourself. So, what was the bridge to that?
So I mean, I think like most of us, I've always gamed, you know what I'm saying? From I've always felt gaming is a good escape just from whatever, and then I guess I started streaming on and off when I was on recruiting duty. I made a Twitch account, streaming from the PlayStation. Wasn't really serious. It's on and off. Okay, let me do it, but it wasn't until I was in Korea in 2020. It was actually towards the end of my tour in Korea, and I was just like, man, I seen all these streamers, I seen all these people gaming or whatever, and I was just like, dude, I like this. I want to be able to just show people, what I'm about and what I want to do, and I want to build a gaming community. I've always felt like gaming brings people together. My main group of players that I play with, right? Travis is one of them, Brandon, who's in the chat, and my other boy Mick is we've been together for a long time, and I was just like, yo, man, I think we can do this together. We can show what we're about or whatnot. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I started it, and I just enjoyed it, man. It's been a really good escape for all of us too, because we all live in different states, we're all going to different things, but one thing we can always count on was yo, Friday night, Saturday morning, yo, we're getting on, we're gaming with each other, we're throwing our remotes because of the game, you know what I'm saying? But we always had fun. And I started in Korea in 2020 with Facebook gaming. And then when I PCS back here in December of 2020, when I finally got all my equipment, I was like, hey, I'm going to try to do this a little bit more adamant. I have more time to do it now. And so now I've been doing it for over 2 years. We're probably at 2.2K followers. I'm partnered with AIM controllers, Gamer Advantage glasses.
Awesome.
And also with Geeks Unleashed, their design company. So, I have my own merch and whatnot.
Hey, homie, DD214 Gaming is all about freaking you give every shout out you need to, homie. We got nothing but time. You shout them all out.
You're good. Yeah, but
shout them all out.
Those who I am partnered with or whatnot, and maybe some more later on down the line. But I think I'm at a good spot of where I am being partnered or affiliated with people, right? Because again, it's hard enough that I'm full time, and then once I'm off, I still have work to do, right? I'm still trying to reach out to people, still trying to do update. Plus, I'm an NCOIC at work. So, I'm responsible. I'm pretty much a platoon sergeant, right? So I got to take care of that, deal with the sergeant major, deal with the commander, So I have a lot on my plate, and I try to balance. Sometimes I do a good job with it. Sometimes I don't.
So you said you were in Korea at the end of 2020.
Yeah, I was there when COVID broke out.
Oh, wow. So did you have a hard time coming back home?
So I did have to go stay in a hotel for 2 weeks because there was a mandate from DOD that if you were coming from a level 3 country at the time with COVID, that you had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So I lived in a hotel for 14 days. Army paid for it, of course.
Fuck
But
yeah!
it
Actually, that
was
sounds fucking badass. Like,
yeah, it was still a hard transition though, man, because we still had I was coming from overseas, so I had to buy a car. We still had to find a house. So
God,
just added
yeah.
stressors, you know.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it was different. It was, than what we're typically used to. We normally, hey, come back home, we do our leave. We're kind of figuring out stuff in between there. But like, I was literally on the phone searching every day. My wife was looking at me. She was like, "What you doing?" And I, like, from the time I woke up at like 10 o'clock at night till I went to bed like at 2300, I was literally looking for cars, looking for houses. It's one of the things. Luckily, everything kind of worked out. We were able
Doesn't
to, like,
it always?
yeah, but again, that's what the Army teaches you, right? To be proactive and stuff instead of trying to wait for the last minute to do things. So
That's right.
especially
Absolutely.
if I'm by myself, hey, I know when I'm done at the hotel, I can go crash on somebody's couch and be okay, right? But I have my wife and me. I can't sit there and do that to my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So to my family and stuff like that. So
What a very interesting time, because like, and especially what an interesting time to have a PCS, because like, you're expecting, like you said, you're coming home, you're gonna do your paperwork, you're gonna get your house and all your stuff lined up, but now the world stopped. Everyone's going crazy. Everything is busy. Everything is sold out, and you're in a hotel funded by the Army. You're trying to figure out, well, what's next. So it must have been a very like not high anxiety moment, but pretty stressful, man. That I could only imagine. Because for me, when I listen to some of these perspectives, I never went to Korea. I never went out of states. I was a 92 Golf stationed in Fort Benning the whole time. So I got stuck there, So I
Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No, never. So I did. So when I hear these experiences, I'm just like, whoa, like, holy crap! Like, do you have any kids?
I have 3 kids, but they live with my ex-wife in Chicago.
So at the time, they were not in. So it was just you and your wife at that time in Korea. Okay, cool.
And what I did plan. So we did plan to bring the kids over to Korea because that way they can be exposed to different things. And then like COVID hit, so it's just like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when COVID, and we were dealing with COVID back in November before the U.S. even shut down.
Right.
So we were dealing with it months beforehand.
Yep.
And it was it's just really weird, different, like being stuck at home. And of course, I was essential personnel, right? So I still had to go into the office every now and again, which kind of sucked. But I still worked, we still worked a little bit less than most people. But, at the end of the day, though, I still loved my time in Korea. The way they handled things with COVID, we were still able. But when you guys were still like kind of stuck in lockdown in the U.S., hey, we were back, hanging out, going out at restaurants in Korea, kind of living it up. We still had to follow mandates or whatever.
Yeah.
But we were still doing a lot more in Korea when you guys were still in lockdown. By the time the summer came,
We've had one of our multiple time guests on this show, Staff Sergeant Bodette. Good friend of the show. He just got back from Korea fairly recently, about a year ago. But he was in Korea for a year while we were kind of in the processes of starting this podcast up getting things up and running.
His episode in Korea, his first episode.
He did.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
did.
God.
That's right. Yeah.
yeah,
Good, dude, John. You got a mind like a steel trap. I can't remember Well, the funny part to me was that a lot of people talk shit about Korea, and it's one of those places where like experiences may vary. You know what I mean? And he had a very positive experience in Korea, and I've heard of a lot of other people that have had very, very positive experiences in Korea. You know what I mean? And it sounds like your experience, although kind of metered by fucking coronavirus, was actually positive.
So I've been to Korea twice, and both times, I've enjoyed my stay. It's
Good.
like anything you do in life, right? It's what you make of it. So if you go to Korea and all you do is freaking stay in the barracks, you don't go travel, you don't get to experience a country or whatever the case might be, then you're going and you're just shooting yourself short, right? Granted, I had my fun. I went to the bars. I drank. We had fun with the boys playing pool, but we still traveled. We still did stuff. Like,
at the end of the day, DD214 Gaming is brought to you by fucking booze, women, and people of fucking ill repute. Okay, that's who we promote on here. Okay, so like, if you ain't down with that shit, dude, like, fucking turn us off. Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
What did he say?
Both times though, like, look, towards the end, you know, Korea has really sentimental value too, because that's where I met my wife in Korea. I proposed to her in Korea.
Cool.
Fuck yeah,
Then
bro.
we were able to go back married, and we got to experience Korea together. And the first time I was all the way up north by Camp Casey, Korea. That's like pretty much like 18 kilometers from the DMZ. So,
Right.
you know, shit hit the
Nice.
fan. They're the first one's gone. But anyways, I digress. And then the second time I was in Pyeongtaek down south, which was like awesome. And then I got to be at the Army level, an assignment that, again, not a lot of people get to do. So I got to see at the strategic level different things. And I had my hands like where I was in like different aspects too. Like, so it was fun, man. Like, I had a really good time. And everyone who says some people experiences may vary, right? And also if you were to ask one of my boys who got the assignment I was in after I left, he would tell you it's probably the shittiest thing he had. But again,
Sure.
right? But leaders make everything too in an assignment, and I had really good
Also
leaders when I
agree.
was there.
Also agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've been very fortunate. I think we've all had really shitty leaders, but then there's always that one or two people who make the assignment like bearable, and you're like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm still gonna give 100%, and it's because of you, Sergeant so and so. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
you got a,
because you guys freaking help me
John,
out.
do we have a fucking sergeant major in the chat right now, dude? Are you kidding me?
Do
Look
it.
at this shit. Who's this dude?
Who?
I think we do. Mr.
Hey, Sergeant Lanchester, what's up? How's it
Sergeant
going? I
Major
appreciate
Lanchester.
How you doing,
Yeah,
Sergeant
welcome.
Major? How you doing
He was
today?
my
Sergeant
bro?
first sergeant.
Sergeant
He was
Major, you
actually
have
my
a
first
distinction.
sergeant in the ops company in Korea.
Yeah.
So
Sergeant Major, you have a distinction today. You are the absolute first Sergeant Major to ever be a part of this
baby,
show.
Korea.
Sergeant Major Lancaster, shout out to you today, homie. I hope you're having a good weekend. Good for you, bud. Good for you.
Who?
Yeah, I heard you had a great first sergeant too. Yeah, I won't deny that. You let me do my thing, so I didn't.
I saw that comment as soon as it came in, and I was like, oh, I bet that's a first sergeant that made Sergeant Major right there. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So, what is some of the
Yeah, no.
equipment that you use right now to run your streams?
So what I have right now, it's taken me about a good 2.5 years to put together, right? I initially started on my PlayStation with a PlayStation camera and a laptop that wasn't meant for streaming. Right? So I was afraid I was going to burn it out, trying to figure everything else out. But now, where we're at, I use mainly everything Elgato to help with the stream. So I have an Elgato Wave 3 mic, an Elgato Stream Deck, Elgato key light, the Elgato face cam, and then the software. I think what makes Elgato one of the top products on the market is not really the hardware, because if you use the hardware by itself, it's probably like, I don't want to say mediocre, but it's like in the middle of what's out there. But it's the software that makes Elgato well worth it and well worth the money that what you need to do. So that's really why a lot of people get Elgato. So yeah, but I have all these different things. The main thing too, the big thing for me is the mixer, the virtual mixer. I literally can do everything I want from there, different sources or whatever, and it just. I'm telling you, if you don't have that stuff, I think you're just making your life a lot more.
When you're, I'm not very tech savvy. So when you're like live streaming, you're trying to play a video game. How do you like find the time to like press a button and make a sound effect or change your voice or do whatever? Like you're in the middle, you're playing fucking Call of Duty, right? Very fast paced, very, you have to pay attention type shit, right? How do you find the time to like make your stream kind of, how do you keep people interested? Let me ask you that. How do you do
I
that?
just go ahead and do stuff like this, and that's what I have the Stream Deck for, and I can just push a button real quick on the remote.
But yeah, so honestly though, I try to find time. You try to find your moments. Obviously, if I'm knee deep in a fight, I'm not paying attention to chat. I'm not paying attention to anything real quick. But then there's this moments, and you just go ahead and you can just find different things, and you're just like, Well
played, sir.
I love that
Yeah,
button,
yeah,
by the
so-
way.
Yeah, it's just it's it's just repetitive and trying to get used to everything. It's the same thing, you know. Hey, when we're active duty, right? You're sitting there, you're trying to find your time to brief. You're briefing, you're trying to find times to say stuff. Trying to, you know, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. So obviously, when I look back at videos when I first came out and I sounded all nervous, I'm just like, well, hey everybody, it's your boy Crazy Ace. So, you know, rare monotone or whatever. And like now I'm just like, yo, what's up? It's Crazy Ace. How y'all doing? You know, freaking this is what we're gonna do. And I try to do different stuff in the chat. Just to try to keep people entertained, interactive. You know, Call of Duty gives me a lot of emotional damage. Okay. But,
which makes it perfect for fucking us in the armed forces community, because we like inflicting pain on ourselves sometimes, you know.
What are your PC specs?
My boy Ethan just said that Ethan's actually active duty too down at Fort Bragg.
What?
Stream Deck takes time to set up, and it does. Like, I have the regular size Stream Deck, so it's only 15 keys. So I have folders within folders to try to get to. Like, I wish I had the XL, but that's kind of like of a want versus an actual need. I can do everything I need off the 15 key. So, you know, yeah, big difference from start to now. Yeah, Travis has been with me from the beginning. So, you know, from when I was like, hey guys, I want to stream. What do you guys think? And he's seen the progression from the logos to the way we talk, the way this thing. Now he'll sit there and be like, hey, motherfucker, you need to go ahead and focus more on us in the stream. But, you know, whatever.
that is really cool. And again, like you said, it takes 2 years to get to where you are. That's usually, you know, in 2 years, I think it would take the perfect time for you to get the equipment that you need. So
it was a buildup because honestly, like, this is my advice for anybody who wants to get into streaming and content creating. You do not need to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 right off the rip to decide if you want to stream or not. Because for some people, they get into this and then they realize after a few months that this is not for them, that they can't do this because it's a grind. If you want to be known and you want to be out there, you have to. Streaming is only one aspect for it, and I would say honestly, streaming is only really like 10 to 20% of like content creating and trying to get your name and trying to get exposed. Right? You're gonna spend a lot more time offline doing offline content, social media. Like that's where majority of the exposure is gonna come from. Now, are there exceptions to the rules? Yes, all the time. Right? There's plenty of people who go and they blow up within 6 months, a year. But I think the person who said it the best is Harris Heller. He's actually a content creator on YouTube right now. And he was like, hey, people who blow up, those are exceptions and not the rule. You can't expect to sit here, jump start, and then expect to be famous within, you know, X amount of time. It doesn't happen.
Wait,
right?
Is that you mean it's like with joining the army and you can't fucking become a sergeant major out of basic training? Why?
Exactly the same.
Why?
Man.
It takes time. It takes time. So
yeah,
it's so cool. And like you said, Jethro says here, he started with the laptop. You started with the laptop. I started with my Xbox when Twitch allowed, you know, when Twitch started doing the streaming on the Xbox. So that was like a big thing that happened for me. So it's very interesting how literally within the last 5 years, how streaming has become more accessible to everyone. And regardless of the level of it is, so it's really cool to see that type of progression. And looking through the comments here, like a couple people, Squilini started with a MacBook Pro, you know, and big Travis Bishop says, yeah, big difference from start till now. Progression is everything.
Yeah, like I bought when I came back to the States, I bought like a budget PC just used for streaming. You know, so it was like a Ryzen, I think it was a Ryzen 5, like 1600, a 1650 graphics card or whatever, you know, like it was enough to go ahead and get a decent stream on, right? You know, but now after going ahead and after a year or whatever, like I have, you know, a 3060 Ti, freaking Ryzen 7 3700, freaking, you know, all this stuff on it or whatever, but that's due over time and people have helped out, you know, whether donating to the stream and stuff like that. Like it's been an awesome journey, and I'm thankful to be a part of it because again, this is something that like it's my happy place per se when it comes to trying to decompress. But at the same time, the main reason why I wanted to get into gaming is to reach different people because I have a new overlay and stuff like that. But normally I always have the numbers up for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Freaking for those of you who know, switch to 988. So make sure y'all are tracking that. If you guys don't, there's no longer the 800 number. Still active, but 988 makes it a lot quicker. But then I also put out
Hey, Ace. Ace.
audio. What's up?
You want to know? You want to know how I know you don't watch the show?
What's up?
we share that too every show. But I'm glad you do too. I love you, bro. I'm just giving you.
It's actually funny that you bring that up because that was actually going to be my last thing before we got into the news because I wanted to pick your brain about that because we as veterans and soldiers and airmen, Marines, whatever it may be, that hotline is important to us, and it, you know, I feel like I don't see it enough, and that was one thing that attracted me to your streams and how I found you was you have it plastered somewhere, no matter where it is, on your screen at all times when you're streaming, and that it is admirable to see that there to show that you're promoting that because there needs to be more awareness of it. And you know, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
It's weird. There's so many resources available. You know, whether you have, well, I think now it's the Suicide Crisis Line, right? You have them. There's NAMI. There's urag.org. There's, I mean, there's just so many different organizations out there, and I still don't think that there's enough exposure. There's still people who don't know where to find help, and it's really weird. But I think they're great resources if you go and you utilize them. I mean, I've sat here and there's times where I had to sit there and I've needed to call. You know, I've called the military. What is it called? Military One Source, right? I've called them. I've needed to go ahead and talk to a counselor before. And we're all human and we all deal things with stuff differently. Some of us can cope with stressors and everything a lot better than others. And I mean, at the end of the day, we have to know where to get help. And the fact that they shortened this to a 3-digit number makes it, I can remember a 3-digit number, no problem, right? We remember 911, remember 114, heck, overseas in Korea,
I was in the infantry. That's about 2 more than I can normally remember, but I can remember 3.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get it. And it's amazing that they really, and the people there are actually trained and licensed and professional behavioral health specialists. So you're not just talking to somebody who like volunteered their time like Ted Bundy did back in the fucking 70s, right? You're talking to an actual fucking educated person who is there waiting for you to ask for help.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Go ahead. Ace, go.
Yeah, it's just I think what it is too is like I hate saying that there's still a stigma when it comes to seeking mental health, right? Because I think we're at a point where we've progressed enough that we understand that we need mental health, especially after being in conflict for almost 2 decades. However, there are still some leaders in the ranks who go and make you feel like seeking help. They don't have the buy-in that's saying that that if you need help, mental health, go get it, right? That's how I phrase it, right? There's not buy-in from everybody up the top. They say it, they preach a good game, right? But their freaking their audio doesn't match their visual, or visual doesn't match their audio, one or the other, right? At the end of the day. So we have to be able, and that's where we come in, right? Down at the enlisted level and this thing and just getting that information out. And that's what I want to do. I have a lot of followers who started following me and kind of hang out with the stream just because they saw the suicide prevention number. They saw that I talk about mental health. I've done charities for URAD, for stackup.org, right? To raise awareness, which is the main thing always, right? And then to help raise money for the organizations, right? I mean, URAD, let's say, for example, URAD, they're an organization that goes and pays for mental health care. If you need to talk to somebody and you can't afford it, they'll work with you and they'll probably pay for it for free, right? People don't even know that that's out there. Again, we got the suicide prevention number. They have a chat. There's
The text line too.
Yeah, they have a text line. Heck, what is it? No Stash Vember
Yep.
is actually a mental health organization as well that I didn't even know it was a thing until like 2 years ago. I mean, there's just so many different resources that we don't utilize or we don't know about.
You're
And
right.
I wish there was more. I don't want to say streamers or content creators. I just wish that there was more exposure than what it is, right? We all know when so and so is pregnant and has a baby, or we know when so and so breaks up, right? That makes freaking national news, okay?
Absolutely.
But how are we gonna sit there and get better and help each other and listen? But I guess that's why you have people like us, right? Like we go ahead and we try to get it out there as much as we can. I need to do a better job of putting more content out there with this information as well, right? So I think that's one thing I need to get better at in general is just get an actual schedule. Like, hey, I need to post this and this and this, but you know what I'm saying, on certain days of the week or whatnot. And I think now that we're talking, I may make that as one of my posts that religiously, hey, every freaking Thursday at this time, this post goes out, you know? So,
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like we said, it is very important. You know, we've all lost somebody. It's definitely a disease that comes in and it overtakes you, and that's something that we've always, since the beginning of the show, have always talked about as our final thought every single week. Because again, 22 is just way too high.
oh, no, yeah. I mean, Sarmager's in the chat saying soldiers have to trust us first in order to open up to you. And that's 100%. Like, if your soldiers can't open up to you, then I mean, honestly, what's the point of you calling? At that point, you're a sergeant and you're not an NCO, right? And that's a whole nother discussion, whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
But it's the truth though, and I've always been listening. I don't know everything, right? And I don't expect you to know everything. But what I do expect for myself or for other leaders is to at least know where to go to be able to get information or to get resources or to get help. And that's where sometimes, I mean, just some people fail. They don't realize, they don't care. They're in it for whatever reason, X, Y, and
Absolutely.
Z, you know?
Absolutely.
And that, I think that's what just needs to happen, man.
Yeah, I could say like through experience, I didn't start seeking mental help until I opened up, and had that moment during my time in the military, and I'll never forget. I went up to my E6 at the time, Staff Sergeant Dukes, and I just broke down in front of him and told him I need help. You know, I'll never forget that, and that was one of those things that you don't realize it until it hits you hard. You know?
But let me ask you though too. So on the flip side, right? What was Sergeant Duke's reaction, right? Did he help you or did he kind of just blow you off?
No, the first
And
thing
he helped you. You respected him more for that at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. And the
And
first thing he did was he took me out the defect. He said, "Come on, we're going to mental health now."
yep.
Yep, that was the first thing he did. Didn't even care whether I was in the middle of cutting cucumbers or getting the yogurt ready for the defect. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, "Come on, let's go." And
Yo, risk the mission, risk the force, and that's an instance where you're gonna sit here, and I'd rather risk the mission to make sure that the force is gonna be okay, right? If we're talking about grand scheme of things.
yep, and Jay has said it here before. If the plane is nosediving, you got to put your mask on first before you help everyone else put theirs on. You got to be there for yourself. And now we'll get back into this for the final thought, but now we're getting into triggering news for Jay. Modern Warfare 2 was finally revealed this week, guys. There was a lot of good. There was a lot of confusion. A couple things people griped about. Before we get to like your personal experience from you streaming it, I have to say, game modes look fantastic. The one concern that our lovely neighborhood friendly veteran here, Jay, always seems to talk about is what is this game going to do to bring me in? So from watching the footage, I haven't played the beta yet. I just got my Xfinity code, so couple days I'll be playing it, but I haven't gotten to play it. I know Jay hasn't gotten to play it. What has your experience been like playing Modern Warfare 2?
It feels kind of like when we left Black Ops 4 going into Modern Warfare with the movements or whatever the case might be. But that's why we enjoyed Modern Warfare 2, It's still a little bit clunky, but I feel like obviously this is a beta, right? So they're going to work on it. Hopefully when the game releases, it'll be better. Overall, I've enjoyed it. I've played 3 different game modes. I played TDM, Dom, and then this other one, Hostage Rescue. It kind of seems like Search and Destroy, but the only difference is you can be revived if you go down by your teammates. So it adds a different dynamic to the game. Aside from it not crashing on me day one of the beta launch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where I couldn't figure out how the hell to get on for 3 hours. Once we got past all that, the game felt better. But I feel like we still haven't been able to use all the weapons. We still haven't been able to use a bunch of different attachments or whatnot. And I don't know if they're gonna change it up this weekend, or if they're gonna add more next week when they open it up for crossplay.
Yeah.
So this weekend was just PlayStation exclusive. Next weekend is going to be open up to crossplay starting Friday, and then hopefully they open up some of the more weapons. And I'm praying that we get to play Warzone next week. I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But
I'm like,
nice to get Warzone
this
too.
is Ace. I have so much respect for those of you out there that actually take your time to do beta testing, actually send in your feedback, stuff like that. It's when you see me smirking and smiling, it is not at you. I promise. This is like, my smirking and smiling is because, and John can attest to this, like my biggest problem with the Call of Duty franchise right now is like every time I ask like, why can't we do this? Why don't they have that? I get like no response. I get a very muddled like, they just haven't released it like that. So like I have always wanted like let's say Warzone, right? When Warzone started, where's hardcore? Like if it is so fucking fun, if Warzone is so fucking fun that it's still here 2 years later, where the fuck is hardcore Warzone? Like
I don't think we'll ever get a hardcore Warzone. I don't think we ever will.
And it's interesting because
that's why I always call bullshit on the franchise, because I'm like, it's unreal that all the mechanics are there.
But this is why I'll say they're never going to do a hardcore Warzone, right? Because with the way the time to kill is during the game, it's already quick enough as it is. Like, I understand that they want to get into the realism aspect of it, but it's just too quick already as it is. And if you were to go and you already get one shot enough as it is with freaking shots to the head or snipers.
Yeah, that's correct. They might have to change the mechanics of how you enter. Like, you might not be parachuting in anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you have a team.
And I wouldn't mind playing it just to kind of see. I play hardcore TDM all the time.
Yeah,
I prefer
that's all we used to play. I
prefer hardcore almost everything, because
and yet we don't have hardcore Warzone, and it is such a travesty. That's why I say, like, every time I would ask why or why not, everybody else would be like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like, I'm asking why I can't play the campaign cooperatively with a friend. I'm asking why I can't play hardcore in Warzone on a server with random people. Because when you get good at hardcore, there's a big difference between a hardcore player and a freaking a core player. You know what I mean?
Hands out.
There's a big difference.
Well, they just can't do this. What do you mean they can't do it? They are a $1 billion industry.
I just want to add too. I just want to add too. When Call of Duty came into the battle royal space, it was with Blackout, and I love Blackout. Blackout by far was to me the best iteration of a Call of Duty battle royal ever made, even though we've only had 2 of them. But what made it so what made it so
got
interesting?
Really good fucking odds there, John.
What made it so interesting though was that, like, they had a hardcore mode, and now that I think about it, Ace is actually correct in that, because as soon as you came in, the game would be done almost automatically, which is fine. We like fast games, but it almost.
What was the size of the server, dude?
It was like 100. At that time, it was 100. I think the most it was 120.
I don't think it was never 100. It was less than that. As big as the Blackout map was, it wasn't 100 people.
It wasn't because it was still there was. Yeah, I think you may be right.
I extend a huge challenge to like any gaming like community, like or game makers. Give us a hardcore, like, and watch how fast. You want to talk about beta testing? Watch how fast motherfuckers learn what cover and concealment fucking is.
88
when
players.
like, dude, like watch, dude. Like I don't think with the game you're talking about, John, that was what 10 years ago plus, about a decade ago at least.
No,
Close.
Blackout 4 was before Modern Warfare 2, I think.
Like almost.
So what?
We're gonna,
How many years ago?
5 years, 6 years.
We're going on 5 years, 6 years now.
Hey, dude, I'm telling you, man. Like then either they need to work on the mechanics or work on the maps because there's no reason like. You see people, you see these motherfuckers playing Arma, right? Like just getting like up Arma's ass and like the whole like RP shit with Arma 3.
I love Arma.
Dude, I watch Arma footage. I don't even fucking play the motherfucker. I just watch the footage. You know why? Because like you learn real quick. Like if you're fucking if the shit is like closer to real life, that's what like. I think anti-hardcore Warzone is just for people who fucking bitch about campers. Guess what you fucking do in real life, kids? You fucking camp, dude.
What's going on, Mando? Now the one thing while we're talking about Warzone, the one thing that really does interest me about Warzone is the heartbeat sensor.
Oh, the fact that it has a battery now, I love it.
I love that too because the one thing that I used to hate is being at the end of a game, maybe 3 teams left, and someone sitting there with a heartbeat sensor, spinning in circles, looking for the guy. But now you can still do that, but the only problem is now you have a battery life. So
yeah, you gotta be more concise with it. But I don't know, like I complain about a lot of stuff too, right? You're in the middle of a match, you're like, what the hell? This is bullshit, whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, it's a tactic, right? And I mean, that's just a tactic that they use. Do you hate to die with some dude hiding in a bush? Or in a corner that's dark as hell with a rose skin? Yes, 100%. Of course we do. Right?
With the rose skin. Oh my God. Right. The rose skin was the most controversial thing too.
I don't mind. So listen, if we're gonna go ahead, if we're like in the beginning of a game, you know, and we're trying to maneuver, get into position or whatever, fine and dandy. We're out and about, you know, trying to figure stuff out. But when it comes to end game, you have to kind of expect that people are going to start ratting it out, right? Because even the game slows down for me where like, hey, we're going to move here. Hey, we're just going to hold position up until, you know, saying we can see them or we're trying to gatekeep them or whatever, right? But people play endgame style the entire match. And I don't even know how that's fun. I don't know how you sit in a corner and you watch a camera. Dude did not move the entire... you can spectate him and he stayed up there. Like literally for like 3-4 circles, and I was just like, bro, how is that fun?
And now that you bring up circles, what do you think of the Warzone aspect of having split circles?
I like it. I think it's gonna change the dynamic of the game a little bit, right? Because I think you have to be more strategic. Now, they're still gonna merge at the end and collapse, right? But I think you have to pay attention of where you're on the map and then where you're going to next. So if you're trying to, if one circle goes out to the city, one circle goes down. I haven't looked at all of Al Sharif, right? But I think, you know, down by the little observatory area and somewhere by the dam. Okay, well, where do I want to be? Do I want to be somewhere by the dam where it has somewhat cover concealment, but it's still out a little bit in the open? You know, do I want to be in the city where I think a lot of people are going to push and try to get more kills? Am I playing for the win? Right? And then every circle is going to tell you how many teams there are inside the circle you're in. So that's going to tell you, hey, do we just, you know, kind of sit down? If there's only one other team there, do we sit there? Do we hunt them? Or do we kind of just wait and see what happens after this next circle? You know? So there's different gameplays. And I think it's the gameplay game style is going to be dependent on who you're playing with. So I like it. But at the same token, it's something that Activision, well, actually Infinity Ward is going to have to watch and see if it does what it's meant to do, you know?
Yeah. Now they also talked about, now we have the gulag. The gulag has also been changed. So we know that now when you do the gulag, you're not doing the gulag by yourself. You're doing the gulag with someone who is your enemy, and you have to work together in order to make it back, and then you become enemies again. Now
that sounds stupid as fuck. How the fuck is that supposed to work?
Well, listen. So let's say me and you are in 2 different teams, right, Jay?
Right.
We die. Okay, we want to get back into the game, so they put us in a gulag together as a team.
Okay,
but we're only a team for those 30 seconds, 45 seconds that we're playing.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What happens if I just want to fucking troll and just not give and
it
just
could
not
be-
give a fuck.
And then in turn, it turns into a 1v2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it just happens. There's that. There you can also find a key that somewhere in there that you can use to escape. And then there's also
Yeah.
another AI there, and I'm not 100% sold on these AIs.
And I don't.
But
I actually have a theory about the AI. I actually think, and it was actually very funny because I had this conversation with Jay, and my theory is that the AIs have been in place there partially to combat hackers.
and I hope so.
But then
I
Jay,
sure hope-
started doing
because
that
I
at Warzone.
fucking-
Do you not remember at the tail end of Warzone, before it got integrated with Vanguard during the blackout era, that they would have stuff falling from the sky, and a lot of people thought they were doors, but those were actually a mechanic. So if people were locked onto them, shoot them. Activision knew that people were hacking.
oh,
They were aimbotting. Yeah, same thing with the mannequins all around the map on Warzone.
I remember the mannequins.
Yeah, the mannequins too. Same thing. If they would go and give off this thing and people would lock onto them, then that's one way they would knew.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, and that's a great way to combat hacking too. And I always thought, and when I was saying that I feel that the AIs are there to partially combat hacking. But then what happens if the hackers break through that algorithm and able to hack the AI?
So they're always gonna go and be there to try to. People are always gonna go and try to get
Yep.
past the algorithm, the hack, whatever. You're not gonna be able to stop them, right? I just feel that like as long as we can do what they can to mitigate it the most you can, then I'm okay with that. But people complain like, oh well, there's no way. I'm like, no man, like people are just gonna do. People pay money for these hacks. It is wild, right? There's a business for it. So be it. I may or may not know somebody who makes software as well, right? And they actually got a cease and desist letter from Activision, right? Because a video got out there, etc. Whatever the case might be. And
I've
cool,
really
he
really
was trying to
never
ask me too. He's like,
understood
"Hey
the,
man, do you want to go ahead?" Like, look, bro, I ain't fucking touching that shit. I'm not trying to get banned.
Yep.
It's bad enough that all these big time people get accusations all the time, right?
I've
And I
never
don't want that for
understood-
myself. I never want. I don't need that kind of. I don't need to go and put clout out there that I'm the best, just to prove that.
I've never understood the idea behind trying to like just cheating in general. Just because like I remember beating Super Mario Brothers on the original NES, with one life as a kid, and considering that like life's greatest achievement, right? And it was like, or fucking like finishing fucking Ninja Gaiden. Like, oh my fucking god, dude! Like, and like, what kind of a reputation do you get when you play a game and you have to cheat? You have to have a fucking an aimbot or a freaking or whatever the fucking next gen shit that they have now is, or whatever. I don't personally understand it. I don't understand the idea behind it. That's exactly why I like to play hardcore, particularly on Call of Duty, and probably why I'm mainly like a single player type game. Like I like playing a lot of the quest games. You know what I mean? Because
I love campaigns, story mode based games.
Right,
I freaking love
right.
them. Like I'm excited for freaking Ragnarok comes out freaking
I am looking forward to that.
November
I am
9th.
not gonna lie. I am very much
November
looking
9th.
forward to that.
Which sucks though, because I only have like look, the new Modern Warfare 2 drops October 28th,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ragnarok drops November 9th, and then
Uh-huh.
Warzone 2 drops November 16th. So like
They
I get,
separated
I'll
the
rank
new
up my weapons. I get like a few days break to go ahead and try to play Ragnarok and try to get as much of the story as I can, and then back to Warzone. And I hate the gaming industry sometimes because like it just really wants to break my wallet,
Oh, dude, dude, hey, tell me again how do I know you don't watch this show? Like we started a military gaming podcast like 2 years ago, and all we've done the whole time has been like, what the fuck happened to the gaming industry, dude? Like this shit fucking sucks. This shit fucking sucks. Like
It's actually
like every review is bad. Every review is
It's
bad.
actually funny
Like,
too, but
almost every time.
But overall, I mean, the mechanics of the game look familiar. The graphics look great. We have a couple new things. Slide canceling is not available now, so.
There's already videos that people found a way to slide cancel. It's not ideal yet, but the devs aren't 100% sold on the fact of not bringing back slide canceling.
Yeah,
Does that make
they're playing with it. Yeah.
So like I personally, I don't mind just slide canceling, but what they should do though, the one of the mechanics they need to work on is that when you're sliding now, you can't fire at the same time. You're almost like over 50% of the slide before you can fire your weapon. And
Wow.
so,
Whereas in
yeah, it's
Modern
weird. I
Warfare,
can dolphin dive and shoot no problem as I'm
Okay.
diving and shooting, but I can't freaking go and be on a slide and start hip firing or whatever the case might be. So
Interesting.
again, there's a few mechanics, right? And I've looked on the Reddit posts that the devs are looking at, right? A lot of people complain about that. A lot of big time streamers are going ahead and making notes on it as well. I think Swag was one of them. J God was one of them. And if those of you guys who watch, you already know that Call of Duty listens to J God like a lot, right?
Well, and I also want to clarify too. I got into Modern Warfare for reasons. That was like the first person shooter game I had played in like probably about a decade. That I really just kind of felt like I was there, and I felt like that going through the campaign. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know the way you know the how crisp the sounds were, how good the movements were, bullet drop compensation, stuff like that, where it was just like mechanically a very sound game. And I don't know where the ball got dropped aside from basically corporate politics and different companies working on different game engines. But it's like they had a fucking winner basically three and a half years ago. And why we just stayed static instead of going like full dynamic with it and just, you know what I mean? That's always been my problem.
For Warzone, I think I would have been happy with doing Modern Warfare, the 2019 version, and having seasons or progressions of that as Call of Duty. And I figure, because this is where I think Call of Duty is a franchise, I think what they need to do is they're at the point now where they just need to, especially with the Warzone now, they need to just stick to like, hey, have MW2, leave MW2 for the next 2 years, right? And just add to that. And then we can start introducing another Call of Duty, right? Because there's nothing right now, there's nothing out there that rivals Call of Duty. Like Battlefield is a great franchise, and it, you know what I'm saying, when 2042 though was a flop. They try to do too much, they try to integrate too many things, they were trying to make the next big bad thing, but they went away from what made Battlefield.
Absolutely, I agree.
And
with that.
so, because I played the beta for the Battlefield 2042, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get it, we can flip content from Call of Duty for a little bit. And I played the beta and I was not impressed, like, whatsoever. I tried really hard. I did a lot of stuff off stream. I did a lot of gaming off stream with my boys, and we were just trying, and we were just doing it. And I was just like, guys, I can't do this. I just right.
That's been my.
There's nothing to contend with Call of Duty. So like, why are we releasing titles every year now? Right? Let's slow it down. Bungie. Yeah. Bungie, look at Assassin's Creed. They've gone away from dropping yearly freaking Assassin's Creeds, and
it was never a good model
now.
Yeah,
and
that was never a good model to go with the how fast the industry changes, with how fast technology can change and has changed and continue to change, with every succeeding console where we get, you know, more bang for more buck, you know what I mean, in the internal hardware. It's one of those things where, like, why did it become a pay-to-play scheme? Like, it's video games, and you guys got greedy, and you just got to stop being greedy.
Oh, you
had a winner.
Microtransactions. I mean,
don't get me started on microtransactions, bro. Oh my God, you have no idea, bro. Like I said, like you go ahead, get on Spotify one of these days and do a deep dive on our podcast, bro. Every other show. Last year and preceding seasons, I do a rant on like multinational corporate conglomerates. So just don't even get me started on that. Product obsolescence, the whole thing, dude. It's I'm not even the conspiracy guy. I just this stuff is what's happening. It's turning the video game industry into mush.
Yeah,
and it sucks. It really sucks. Like especially for a casual gamer like me, who like almost wants to fulfill and spend some time you know, with what I would call a very pleasant and emotionally fulfilling hobby, like video gaming, and like every other game I play is just dog shit, or it's just the community is toxic, or it's freaking definitely did not live up to the hype. You know what I mean? I got two hands, and I still got a couple of fingers left for how many cool games I've played since I came home from Afghanistan in 2018 and bought myself a PS4, you know, and later got like an Xbox One. You know, I can count on both hands. The last 3 years, guys, 3 fucking years I've been back. I still got fucking fingers left. Video games suck, dude. Video games
I
fucking
would say
suck,
that like the
dude.
games that actually lived up to the highest, there's probably only a handful to, you know what I'm saying?
It's
That
unfortunate.
definitely was worth the time. Like I still love Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm
Sure.
still not done, but I love the DLCs
Sure.
for their games.
It's well, and I hate being the jaded, cynical asshole about stuff like this because I've seen how fucking amazing it is. You know what I mean? I bought that PS4 and I got 2 games. I got God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay? Both fucking like just treasures. Absolute video game motherfucking treasures, right? And then since then, it has just been like, I've been adrift in this fucking sea of gaming. And every once in a while, I fucking land a decent sized fish in the boat, like the old man in the sea. You know, for those of you guys that read Ernest Hemingway, or excuse me, most of you guys don't read. So let me introduce you when you guys learn to read again. Ernest Hemingway. Look that motherfucker up.
Reading is knowledge. Knowledge is power. And knowing is half the battle.
That's right. That's right. And because motherfuckers like me read, that's how I come up with quick shit like that. You didn't even fucking think about that, did you? Old Man in the Sea, Ernest Hemingway. Look it up. So anyways, every once in a while, a good video game fucking jumps in the ship, like Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? Or a couple of the games I've been enjoying this year. Outside of that, video gaming, since I got back from Helmand Province in fucking November of fucking 2018, like, man, dude, I've taken fucking turds that, like, look way prettier. Like, way prettier than this shit, dude. Like...
And on. Oh, are you there? Oh, I thought you froze there for a second. All right, so we're here. So now we're here at the end of the show, guys. I had such a good time with you, KrazyAceTV. It's actually really cool.
Thank you so much.
To see you on the stream screen, to have you on the show. I'm more grateful to have you on, man.
It's been fun. Just to let y'all know, hey, y'all are the first podcast that I've been on in the 2 years that I've been streaming, right? So I'm definitely thankful for you guys inviting me. I definitely had a lot of fun. Anytime you guys want me back on, by all means, for anything. You're
a badass. Man. You're a fucking badass, bro. We thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very, very much for your time.
Yeah, I love having fun, man. I just like being able to shoot the shit, man. And the fact that we can talk about so many different, you know, we went from real life shit to like gaming shit to like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, man, like this is the kind of stuff I like and enjoy, whatever. And those are the kind of conversations that actually hold meaning, you know? So
it's almost like we're a bunch of veterans, you know?
Oh yeah,
that's like we're a bunch of veterans just hanging out, you know?
Hey, after 180 days. So yeah, hey, so where can we find you, man? And where and how can we support you?
Oh, all right. So if you guys want, I'm mostly live weeknights on Facebook Gaming and KrazyAceTV. Normally around 8 p.m. Eastern time to about 11. Sometimes a little bit longer, and the wife gets mad about that. But anyways, but I am. But if you guys want to follow me on all my other socials, it is KrazyAceTV across all social platforms. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. I mean, everything and anything. If you look up KrazyAceTV, you can go ahead and find me. I have a link, the link on my main profile for Crazy Ace takes you to Linktree. You can see all my socials. You can also see discount codes for any controllers, freaking Gamer Advantage, Geeks Unleashed. If those of you guys want to check out some Crazy Ace merch, by all means, you know what I'm saying? But yeah,
dude.
I've made it fairly simple to find me everywhere and anywhere.
Fantastic. Well, Jay, you know what time it is?
About that time, I guess, huh?
Yep. And it's the final thought, my friend.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll be just kind of functionally honest. we've had a week here, and sometimes when life hits, I always go back to this quote, and it's one of those things that kind of like gave me pause for thought this week. And the quote I wanted to share this week for the final thought: "It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness, that is life." And that was a quote from the TV series Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it was spoken by the character Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I just wanted to let you guys know that there's going to be a lot of times that come when life is not okay. And when you've been on top of the mountain and when you fall back into the valley, sometimes it feels like you're swimming through applesauce and nothing's making sense. And life really fucking kicks your dick so hard, your fucking ovaries come out your mouth. All right, and you're fucking bleeding and fucking spitting blood, and you don't know what the fuck is going on, or which way is fucking left or right, up is down, black is white, and you don't know what the fuck is happening. It is in these times, my friends, I want you to remember the quote I just shared. It is possible to commit no mistakes in life and still lose. And I want to remind you guys, if you are still fucking breathing, if the heart in your chest is still beating, okay, if you are still coherent, cognitive, and conscious, you are still fucking winning, no matter how bad you feel like you're losing, okay? The only secret to life is living to see another day, okay? And there are people in this world that care about you, they love you, okay? They would stop at nothing to be there for you, okay, when the chips are truly down, okay? It doesn't always feel like that. Okay, we are going to face days that test us so hard. We will be questioning every decision we have made for the last 20 fucking years. Guys, I want you to remember it's okay. You don't have to question yourself. You have to remember that the goddamn strongest steel is forged in the fire of a fucking dumpster. And you are going to make it through it. If you are so worried that you are not going to make it to see another day, I want you to stay up late into the night, and I want you to watch that motherfucking sun come up over that goddamn horizon one more time. And then after you do that, I want you to remind yourself that now you've done that once, you just made it another day. Do it another. And then do it again. And then start stringing fucking days together until they become weeks. And you will be okay. If you need help, if you are in crisis, you can dial 988. If you need to talk to somebody, the National Suicide Hotline number is still 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. There are licensed behavioral health specialists waiting for your phone call. They will talk to you. I have called it. Ace said he called it. I have friends that have called it. They do talk. I was on the phone line with one for 45 minutes, just talking, okay? You don't have to be suicidal if you need to fucking just get some shit out. If you're feeling like just way too whatever, it's okay. That is what the fuck they're there for. 988 or 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-TALK. We love you guys. We expect to see you here in formation in 168 motherfucking hours. This week, I'm not fucking asking, I'm telling. Next fucking Sunday, your ass right fucking here. Fuck up, guys. We got this shit. Enjoy some fucking football today. I want you guys to have a good fucking week. Always remember, Jesus hates a fucking pussy, so don't fucking be one. Put your fucking nuts in that goddamn wheelbarrow. Turn your fucking ovaries into fucking steel. Keep your fucking dicks hard and your pussies wet. And let's go fucking kick some ass. 168. Get there fucking now. I'll see you guys later. John, Crazy, I love you, brother. Welcome and thank you very much for coming, dude.
See you next week, guys.
Have a good one.